so much for joining us for Singles Night Out at Mount Zion. My name is Makia James, and I am one of the co-leaders of the Singles Ministry at Mount Zion.
And I am Andrew Golden, and I'm your other co-leader of the Singles Ministry.
So I am really excited about tonight. We're going to have our very own Bishop Joseph Walker and First Lady Dr. Stephaine Walker joining us tonight to impart wisdom within us and to share their personal knowledge on dating and how to navigate single life. So, Andrew, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, listen, it's been a while since we've had an in-person event. So, I'm super excited about that alone, bringing everybody into the same space. A lot of the singles, they've been wanting to mix and mingle. And I don't know, I'm looking in there, the fellas, I think they let me down a little bit, but maybe they're watching online. What you think?
I hope so. That is one of the issues that we often face. Like, we're always sitting here like, where are the men? Like, you and I were just talking earlier about just what is it? Like, why do the men not show up?
I don't know, but fellas, listen, I'm looking, hey, the ladies done dressed up for y'all. They got their perfume on, the eyelashes, earrings, everything. So listen, we're gonna be making some announcements later on about our next in-person event. Make sure y'all show up, man. Don't let me down twice.
I agree. We need the fellas to come out and mix and mingle with us. So I'm looking forward to tonight as well. One of the things that I am looking forward to the most is that we have our bishop and first lady here to share their knowledge with us. Like, so many times the single people, we often feel left out. Like, we have a marriage conference, a men's conference, a women's conference, and I'm always like, well, what about the singles? So tonight we have a special event for us, and I'm really, really excited about that.
No, I agree. Bishop and Dr. Steph, they have their own YouTube channel where they share, knowledge and get very transparent about their story and their background and everything. And so the fact that they've taken time to come and be with us in person on a Wednesday night, that's amazing. So I'm super excited about, the conversation that's about to take place, the many gems that they're going to drop. I feel like we're going to be able to extract some great things from them tonight.
Totally agree, Andrew. So one more thing is I want to see you all come and join us on the Singles Virtual Village. We have the Virtual Village on the last Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. So if you've never joined a session for the Singles Virtual Village, you may want to consider joining us because we have real talk. So once again, we want to see some men and we want to see you ladies as well.
No, absolutely. It's a great time to come and interact, ask whatever questions you want. It's very transparent, very personable, so make sure you come out. I think this month we're talking about managing expectations, right?
Yes, and that's going to be you.
It is going to be me.
Next week, actually.
Next week, so make sure you guys tune in, join us, come with your questions, whatever. It's going to be a great time. We want to see you there.
Yes, yes. So also, if you have some friends or family members who need to join this session tonight, click share, copy this link, paste it, share it with your friends, and invite them to join in on this session tonight because it is going to be good.
No, I agree. Listen, I know some of y'all going to the club trying to find your boo. They not there. But listen, you can find out tonight how you can find them and things you might need to do to grow and learn and develop and whatever the case might be. So listen, this is gonna be super impactful tonight. So make sure you are sharing that link. Text it to all your friends, all your single friends. Your married friends don't need it, but your single friends, they probably do. So make sure you're sharing that link tonight.
All righty. We look forward to getting started. We'll see you again in about a few minutes.
Now, make some noise. Y'all can do better than that. Make some noise if you're single. If you're single again, make some noise. Look. Ain't that a mess? But hey, we are here. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining tonight's Singles Night out with Bishop Walker and Dr. Steph. My name is Brandy J, and I am now back on the singles ministry again, okay? And we're not going to play about us in 2024. That's what my shirt say, okay? We are so thankful for you all that's here in the building, and we really appreciate you all that are streaming online with us. We got 2 giveaways. I'm supposed to have some numbers up here. Okay, until I get the numbers up here, we got 2 $25 giveaways, so you're going to have some gas money or go get you something to eat after this. Right now, I want everybody in the room, we need you all to take your phones out. I know. And we want you all to take a picture with somebody that you do not know. Don't take it with somebody that you know. You look cute, your hair's cute, your hair's done. If it's not done, you still here. Okay, we need y'all to move. We got like 3 minutes. We need y'all to move, take a picture. Somebody come take a picture of me, I don't know. I left my phone down there. Come on. This is my single again friend. Come on up here. You cute too. Make sure you get their name so you can tag them. And then you follow them. And that's how you make a big church smaller, by getting to know one another. All right, we got 2 numbers. Come on, Shannon. Okay, I'm going to grab. It's that. Say that for me.
Delonte Isaac.
Delonte Isaac? You in here, Delonte? Going, oh, it's a man. Y'all make some noise for a man. We got a man in the house. I'm just playing. Thank you, Delonte. God bless you and your ministry. Y'all make some noise for a man that came out on a Wednesday night. Come on. Y'all know that ain't happening too often. And look at that. It's 100 women, and the Lord picked a man. Lord, give us another man. Give us another man. This is almost the same name. I don't know what to pronounce that.
Delicia Mitchell.
Delicia Mitchell. Come on. Y'all names almost match. You might meet someone, girl. Both of our winners, come back up here. Come on. I want a picture with both of them. Come on with my winners. Delicious and delicious. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but you're right here in Mt.Zion on a Wednesday night. And don't play about you no more in 24. Come on. Thank you, Ramona. My friend Ramona made me this shirt just for tonight. We are all winners in Jesus Christ, okay? Did y'all have a good Valentine's Day? Yes, I did too, because guess what? It was peaceful. I didn't get stood up or nothing, so that was good. I had a taco bar at my house for my sister and some friends, so I had a very good Valentine's Day. But we really do appreciate you all being out here tonight. You could have went anywhere else, but you're here on a Wednesday night. I don't think I've been in this building since COVID, because I go to OHB. So I don't be coming on Antioch too often. I'm in Gallatin, so it took me a whole hour. But I'm glad to be here with the singles and the singles again. Y'all ready for some tea? Bishop and First Lady, they going to give us some tea tonight, some stuff we didn't know, I hope. I know we done probably been through a lot of mess, but we're going to still learn some stuff. Andrew, are y'all about ready to come to the stage? Y'all make some noise for Andrew Golden. He is one of our single leaders, and they say he is a dedicated servant. That's what they told me to say. I'm just saying, I'm reading what they told me to say. They say he dedicated. All right. Now, you dedicated in relationships? I'm putting you on the spot.
This is about Bishop and Dr. Steph.
He said what he said, so we're going to leave it at that. Where is Makia at? Oh, here come Makia James, y'all. Makia has been a member of Mount Zion for 7 years, and she has been on the singles ministry for 4 years. So y'all make some noise for your singles ministry leaders. All right, y'all ready? All right, y'all, let's go.
All right. Thank you so much, Brandy, for that introduction and for welcoming everyone here in the building tonight. I am so excited to see all of the singles here in the building. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm really excited to have our very own Bishop Joseph Walker and First Lady Dr. Stephaine joining us tonight. Are they here?
They are here. So guys, if y'all would just stand up, we're gonna welcome them as they come. Because they could have been anywhere else, but they are here with us tonight.
You there for me, teacher me down, I'm a da. I know the fear nothing, your angels they guide me right beside me, to me chain that back. Now me da the jar, you change my life, you up the price, I'm shining bright, your time is right, and everything I do.
Look, y'all, they came in here matching and everything. Yeah, I hope to graduate to this level one day. Now, Bishop, I don't know if y'all heard, Brandy asked earlier how people's Valentine's Day were, and they sounded a little shaky. So, you know, I get it though. Some of y'all, the ladies, probably had y'all little Galentines, you know, with y'all girlfriends. Shout out to y'all. The fellas was probably sitting around playing 2K. That's all right too. But we hope that after tonight, we can change that next year, right? Absolutely. So Bishop, after, 10 plus years of marriage, I'm curious, what do y'all do on Valentine's Day?
Well, how y'all doing, first of all? It's good to see y'all. It's good to be here. So what we did actually was we did kind of a Valentine with the entire family.
Yeah.
So we had the kids involved. We set the table. We all wrote got each other cards. The kids read us cards about why they loved us. We wrote them cards how we loved them. We had little, pastries and whatnots, and I had made certain that we had lobster then. We had lobster and stuff.
Lobster, crab
I
cakes.
prepared the meal.
Yeah.
I prepared the meal.
By
I
ordering
made
it.
Sure, it was prepared. Yeah, I made sure it was prepared, right? So, but yeah, we really did it up, and it was really for us about, refocusing what Valentine was for us in terms of just.
We really wanted to make sure that our kids understood what Valentine's was about. Frequently they go to school and they get all these treats and cards or what have you, but like, what is it? And usually, historically, we've gone out, so we leave them at home with the babysitter, and they really have no clue what Valentine's is about. So we really just wanted them to understand it's about love and giving and family and just being around people who love you back, right? It's not just about going out and being treated, because sometimes you can go out and be treated, and that person that you're going out and being treated with is just going out and treating you, right? But that's not really a symbiotic relationship where you're getting something out of it, right? And so understanding, like, what is this holiday about? What are we trying to do? And actually showing them and demonstrating, which they hate. Like, we'll kiss in front of them and hug and like a little PDA. They hate it. But helping our kids understand what true love is really about. That's why we did what we did.
That's so good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I just first want to start by saying thank you both for joining us tonight. Like, I am so elated that you all are taking time to meet with us singles tonight. Sometimes the singles, we feel forgotten.
Oh, don't feel that way.
Is
Y'all did our
about
heart.
marriage and family. But I appreciate you all taking the time to see us. So I have been really watching your podcast and hearing a lot about y'all's story. And I also read your book, Becoming a Couple of Destiny. So I learned a lot about your story there. But there may be some people here in the room who aren't familiar with your story. So can you tell us, how did the two of you meet? And how did you know that you'd found the one?
It's always funny when we tell this story. I'll tell the short version. So essentially, I had been married for 11 years and had gone through the passing of a first wife, so I was widowed for 2 years. I was at a conference in Florida doing a leadership conference. I was sitting at a table after I got finished teaching, and a pastor leaned over to me and said, "Man, I just want to tell you something." I said, "Hey, boy, I thought he was going to say, hey, great message, etc." He said, "The Lord just spoke to me and told me that I was to be instrumental in helping you find a wife." I was at that point totally turned off by it. I was like, "Bruh, really? This is not where my head is right now." But I knew him to be a very sincere and genuine person, so then it gave me an opportunity to really take a second look and listen to what he was talking about. Needless to say, Bishop John Borders, Boston, he reached out again and told me, he said, "Listen, man, I'm telling you, really, you're a good guy. I really feel like, this is what God is telling me to do." I'm like, "Okay, great. Do your thing." So he does it. So, he's telling me about, this one in Boston. And I'm like, "Okay, all that's great. Does she have a picture?" I'm not, I get all that. She got a good personality, all that stuff. Because men are very visual. I'm like, "Does she have a picture?" And so he didn't, of course.
So then I'll interrupt now.
There you go. There you go.
And so when my pastor actually had spoken to him, he hadn't even met me yet. My pastor had not met me yet. So this was months before I even started going to the church. So that was in his spirit long before. And when I started going to the church, he befriended me because a lot of the individuals in the congregation were people that were in health policy, which is what I was at Harvard to do, in the public health program. And so he would help introduce me to people. So one day he calls me, I'm in the hospital, and he's like, "Hey, I have a friend coming to town, can you go to lunch?" And I'm thinking it's an introduction for business purposes, so I said, "Sure, whatever, no problem." He hangs up the phone, and then he calls me back, and he's like, "Well, do you have a website where people can go to find more information?" So I sent him to my professional website. Sure, because that back in the day, we had websites. Then he called me back. He's like, "No, a website that has real pictures of you." And at that point, I was horrified because I was thinking that it was for him, and I was like, "This is creepy." And then he was like, "No, no, no." And I was like, "Okay, wait a minute. Are you trying to set me up on a blind date?" And he was like, "Yeah, well, actually." And I was like, "No, thank you. I'm good. I promise you I'm good." And he knew the guy that I was dating at the time, and he was like, "No, actually, you're not." He is not the one for you. I actually have someone in mind, and this guy's a really great guy, and he's the type of person that you need to give your time of day to. And he wouldn't let me get off the phone until I agreed to at least give him my phone number. And I said, "Okay," so I can get off the phone because I was at work. And then he called me the next day.
And we talked for, 6 hours almost. We talked for a long time. We had so much in common. It just, conversation was just, we're both just connected on so many levels. We talked about so much. And then, of course, we just continued to talk every single day. And I knew it. And 3 months later, I proposed. And the thing, the backstory of that is that you may not know, and we did not know each other. When I tell you we did not know each other, I had no idea that when she was an undergrad at Vanderbilt, and we were in the Jeff Street location, that she and her girlfriends used to come. She was at Mt.Zion. I never got a chance to shake her hand, never. Because she was like, had we met, it would have been like a deal off. We had not even met. And so it was like God was preparing her. She was sitting under the word, remember Bible study, all that. So when we were talking, all that stuff was coming back.
Yeah.
And
I used to come to church, sit in the back of J Street, come to church. I was a nerd, y'all. I was just focused on getting to medical school. I would come to church late, sit in the back, leave as he was starting the benediction. I never even heard the benediction because I was first one out the door because I got my word and I needed to get back to campus to study. So I had friends who knew him that I found out later on after we got engaged. They were like, "Oh, Joe." I was like, "Who, Joe? What do you mean, Joe? Who's Joe?" So they knew him, I didn't. But that's how God works, though, right? Sort of orchestrating, working behind the scenes, making sure that you are, he was pouring into my life, and I didn't even know it. I still have the Bible today that I used to take notes on when I was a student going to Mt.Zion.
So fast track that, or look at that in a different dimension. that when God was speaking to Adam the whole time, Eve was inside of him. And everything God said to Adam, Eve heard before God released her. And it's as if though before God released her to me, the word that I was speaking, she was hearing it the whole time. And it made it so powerful. And I think that we had this list. This is when I knew it. I had a list, and she had a list. And we went down our list of things that we wanted in a mate. And our lists were actually identical. That was the first key. Second thing we knew, I was at a point of resignation in relationships. I was just done. I was sitting in my home alone. I was just like, I'm done. I'm not dating no more. I'm just like, God, whatever. I'm just done. I'm like, and she did the same thing. And when you resign from trying, that's when it happens. I said, Lord, I give up. I'm done. It was like God was like, good. I got you where I want Adam. Put Adam to sleep. He couldn't do nothing. And now I'll present her unto you. And that's what happened.
And for me, like, I was a serial monogamer. You may have heard me say this before, where I was in one relationship after another, but one person at a time. And I had to get to the point where I was sick and tired of disappointment and sick and tired of wasting my time. And we've all said it. Okay, Lord, I'm gonna let you do it. And we wait 5 days and then we take the wheel back, right? And so I had to get to a point, excuse me, where when I said, Lord, I'm gonna let you have it, I really meant it. I just was refusing to do anything that he wasn't guiding me directly to. And I said, you know what, Lord, I want this man to be so close to you. I said, I want to be so close to you, Lord, that he has to go through you to get to me. So that's what I was focused on. I didn't know I was going to marry a pastor, so you got to be careful what you wish for, right?
Pretty close, isn't it?
But it does take that removing yourself truly from the process to allow God to do his thing. The other thing that I remember saying to God was, I ask you for, this, that, and a third, but, I'm still in this predicament. Like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I deserve what I see everybody else with? You know what I mean? And you're constantly comparing and seeing and trying to, what is she doing? What is he doing? What are they doing that I'm not doing, right? And then you look up, and what he said to me was, you have not because you ask not. And I was like, wait, I have asked before. What are you talking about? But what I was asking him was for what I thought he could give me, as opposed to what I actually wanted. Sometimes we put God in this little box and try to make up his mind for us. This is what he's capable of doing. Stop doing that. Don't lower your standards. Ask for what you want. He will give you the desires of your heart, but you actually have to trust and believe and be patient enough to receive it.
And there's this myth out there that, particularly I think a lot of women hold to, that men are intimidated by successful women.
Not the right man.
Not the right man. Listen, I was like, honestly, I was like, I need somebody, intellectually compatible. I need somebody that's got their own stuff. She had her own stuff. I wasn't intimidated by any of it, but I was appreciative of it, right? She had her own spot in Boston. She was doing it on faculty up there at Harvard. She was doing her thing, man. I was like, and the only way, really, she was going to come to Nashville I had to work behind the scenes and make some moves, like a job to help, I was talking to people I knew at Vanderbilt, like, can you work out something? And then I had to put a ring on her. She's like, I ain't going away. I mean, really? I was like, I really want you to come to Nashville. She was like, she kept looking at the finger like, really?
I don't see any physical evidence of why
no reason why I need to move to
Nashville.
Yeah, and then I had to go down and, that song, He's My Rock. And then next thing you know, she was good. She was good, yeah.
We love that. Well, you two had, y'all were fortunate enough to have a millionaire matchmaker, right? Some of us, we may not have that. So, in this digital space where, there's so much visibility on Instagram and all these dating apps and such, how do you suggest we navigate that? You got people sliding in DMs. How you discern who is actually intentional and genuine and who's not?
Well, I would say, being realistic, we can't pretend to be in your shoes. We don't know what that feels like, right? But one thing that we did do up front, I was like, look, I'm 32. I don't have time for games. Either we're going to do this or we're not. Either you're serious or you're not. And if you're not, it's really okay, because I know that God has somebody in store for me, and if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. So if the less time you waste of mine, the quicker I can move on to finding the thing that God has in store for me. And he was able to handle that because he was serious. So I think sometimes, depending on where you are and what season you are in, if you're in the play season, then play. But if you're in the serious season, it's okay to seek serious people. And it's okay to help somebody understand where you are. It's not about running to the altar. I had no intention. I was always in long-term relationships. I didn't know that we were going to be engaged in 3 months. I was expecting a 2-year courtship at a minimum. But love happens, right? And when you're in love, you know, God orchestrates these things, right? And so it felt like 2 years when it was really only 3 months, but that's what happened. But the reality is that's not going to happen for everybody, right? But I think that it's okay to be direct and honest, humble in your, conversation, but just be real. Let somebody know who you are, what you're about, and either they can handle it or they can't. And if they can't handle it, guess what? He ain't the right one, or she's not the right one, and it's okay. Because I'm a firm believer that God brings people together who are meant to be together, but they also bring people together who are in the same season. And that's what it is. And sometimes when the relationship doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that that's a bad person. Sometimes it could just be bad timing. Sometimes you're just not in the same place at the same time. That doesn't mean it's not going to come back around, but you don't have to stand there watching grass grow. You move on with your life, and if they come back around, then it was meant for you. And if they don't, guess what? It wasn't meant for you, and that's okay.
I think that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. But I do have one thing to say. I need y'all to pay it forward. Think about a sister. So,
Well, actually, I'm like I'm hitting 1,000 on that, right? Like, honestly, real talk, seriously, like, I'm not like taking applications for this, but really, everybody I have ever been led by the Spirit of God to introduce have gotten married, and they are like living their best life. Yeah.
remember me. I'm ready to live my best life. So, when it comes to finding a mate, I believe that attraction is a key principle. And one of the things that I often hear is, to attract what you want, you have to become that what you want. So, what are the top 5 traits that a man or woman should have to attract a spouse that you think we should have?
You want to start?
Well, I would say integrity. And I think attractiveness comes in different forms. And so I would just be really weary of going after visually sexy, right? Because visually sexy can also be crazy, right? And we've all seen it, we've all met it, we've all interacted with it, right? And so one thing that you will learn as you're maturing, right, in relationships is that everything that glitters is not gold. And I used to be like, oh, I want the person who's like all exciting and da-da-da-da-da. And now you crave for mundane, dependable, reliable, right? And so just being mindful of that. And so, yes, you do need to be attracted, but what does that mean? Are you attracted to what's on the outside? Are you attracted to their spirit? Are you attracted to their soul? Are you attracted to their kindness, the way that they love you? Are you attracted to how they treat people? Are you attracted to their sense of integrity, their go-gettedness? Like, all these other qualities are other things to think about and to consider in terms of your level of attractiveness to someone.
I think another thing is the values are very attractive. Person's values. When you have, when you've gone through what I've gone through, you think about that kind of stuff. Like, you think about if you're in the hospital and the doctor walks out, can that person, do you really believe that the person you with would really pray for you? Or be like, y'all need to get somebody because I don't know what to do? Like, that's an important thing. And I thought about, values, a person that you want to build a future with, who'd be a great mother, a great father for your children. Those things matter. You share values in terms of faith. If you have to strong arm somebody to come to church or get in the Word, then you don't share the same value. You can be a good person, but values, I think, create greater sustainability in a relationship. So I think that's number 2 for sure. So integrity, values, right? Very important. Very, very important. I think 3, how a person treats their parents.
Yes.
That's a
100%.
wild card, but listen, you learn a lot about a person, how they relate, not to their siblings, not to their cousins,
Mom and dad.
to their mother and their father.
Ladies, you want a man who loves his mama. We hear these nightmare stories, but on the flip side, when a man doesn't love his mother, that's how he treats women in general. So you have to be mindful of that, be watchful of that. How do you treat your mama?
And you want a woman, guys, that loves her daddy. Will fight for her daddy. That's the kind of woman will fight for you. That's real talk.
Yeah. And also financially sound.
That's number 4.
And it's not about rich or wealth. It's about making sound decisions with what you have. Because that's about character. That's about, do I do what I say I'm going to do? Can I stick to a plan? If we put our finances together, can you trust me that I won't look up and be in Vegas next week and we'll be on the bus and in a studio apartment struggling, And so, like, all of those things matter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's very, very important. That's very important. And number 5, I would say how a person takes care of themselves. How you smell, how you do your hair. do you know what lotion is? Shea butter, jumbo oil, whatever you're working with. But it's real, right? Because,
Jojoba.
Jojoba. Yeah, all that. Yeah, it's important, right? Because, honestly, man, it just matters. Men are very visual, and all those things, it's important. Like, men are visual. I'm just gonna say it for the people in the back. Men are visual. And say what you want to say, critique it all you want. Men are visual, and men are visual.
You said it 5 times.
Well, I hope you guys wrote all 5 of those down. I think those are amazing. I've heard it said before that the person who you say I do to at the altar is not necessarily the same person 5, 10 years later.
They're not even the same person the next day.
That's true.
So my question to you all is, during those ebbs and flows, how do you sustain a relationship over time?
We came to the conclusion, and this is why I think it's important. We were very transparent. If you watch our YouTube show, you recognize we're very transparent. I'll have a very transparent moment here. Though it sounds sexy, admirable to say, oh my God, like he put a ring on it in 3 months, and they got married, right? I mean, that's like, wow, where's that guy? The downside of that was we had to date in our marriage. We had to, because I was committed.
Still
I was
getting to know each
get
other.
to know each other.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like we did it in reverse. Yeah. Like normally those 2 years you have we were in real time, and we said, okay, the difference though, we created this box, and we said, there's no way out the box, no exits, we in it, so we can put graffiti on it, dents, we can do whatever we want, but we're not leaving the box. And there were times, boy.
That was the only way that I would commit, that we would commit, right? Like,
yes.
Because at the end of the day, we recognize that 3 months, wow, that's a little fast, but when you know, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, like we're not talking about flavor of the month here. Like, if we're gonna do this, I am moving, I am leaving my job, everything that I know and love to come to your world. Like, what's going on here? Like, we're not doing prenups so you can change your mind next week. We're If we're coming together, we are coming together, all of us whole, jumping in. And so we created this idea of this box. So are we going to get in the box together and lock ourselves in? Are you going to create a hole in the floor, a door, walls, windows? None of that. So if we're going to get in, we're going to get in. And we're in through sink or swim, ride or die. We're going to do this.
And
right?
we learned a lot, man. I mean, and we still do. I think it's important. Like we
Constantly growing,
constantly growing,
learning.
we learn a lot about each other.
Yeah.
We have the key to the sustainability of our relationship is that we both are great communicators.
Yeah.
So we talk to each other. We don't let things simmer. We go to our corners respectfully, you know, and we're both, I think our episode coming up is how do you deal with A-type people? That's the one I think that's going to hit this Friday because we're both A-type, and that's a whole different ballgame. You got two positive batteries in the house. You know, we see you playing conversational tennis, you know, pow, 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 1-0, you know. Like somebody's got to win all the time until you realize, do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Right? You know, and so you just learn a lot. And I think anytime you go into a relationship and go into a marriage, you have to be a student of the person. But you learn something I keep learning things about her. I learned so much during the pandemic. I didn't know. I was traveling, moving around the world. It's gone. A pandemic, I can't travel. Then I realized all that she was doing at the house with the kids. And so now, you know, my schedule, you know, cut back tremendously so that I could be of help with the kids. And so here we are today, you know, picking the kids up, taking JoJo to ballet. I'm falling asleep in the parking lot of the car while we're at ballet. Then we got to get the kids to McDonald's. They back there. We dropped them. That's why we just got here. And then we both driving like we exhausted, but we're here and glad to be here. And then we got to go home and put the kids, take a bath and put the kids to bed. But that's what we do. But she was doing that stuff by herself. I had to learn what it meant. So oftentimes you have to give a person space and grace to become. That's why it's becoming a couple of destiny, because you never really become. And so I think sometimes what happens, you get so punitive that a person isn't where you want them to be, but you have to at least, if the person's in the right class, then at least you know they have the potential to be. I ain't saying they're on the campus. Or they registered for the class, because that's an investment. Does that make sense?
I think the reality is marriage is hard. It's not, some people will say, oh, it's not hard with the right person. Marriage is challenging. You're dealing with a whole other human being who has their own mind and viewpoints and perspectives and opinions. And as a grown adult, you have your own, and you have your own way of wanting to do things. And having to constantly compromise on a regular basis, that takes practice, right? So as single, I didn't get married till I was 33. That meant that I was on my own trajectory doing my own thing, right? And so it is a choice. It's a daily choice. You have to want to love this person, right? To marry and want to be married every day. It's a choice every day. And so you want to think about that. Like, sometimes married people are looking at the single people like, wow. Yeah. And the single people are looking back at the married people like, wow. But the grass always looks greener on the other side. It is a daily choice, you know? And yes, I mean, you see us smiling. We don't always smile.
Man, we be having drag out.
We always love each other. We don't always like each other in the moment. But we know that whatever is happening, it's coming from a place of love.
It is, yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And so I would just say, before you tie the knot with someone, get to their core. Who are you really? What is your heart like, right? It's not about not making mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna trip up and fall. You're gonna say the wrong thing. You're gonna hurt each other's feelings every once in a while. But do you really love me? Do you really care about me? Do you really support me? Do you really want the best for me? Or do you want the best for yourself and you think that you can get it through me? Those are two fundamentally different things. And once you understand that they really do care, then you can think about, well, maybe we can do this thing for life. Because life is a really long time. It's a really long time. And I think I know that's what we have learned, which is why we have hit this stride, because everything that we're talking about, this wasn't stuff that we knew going into marriage. It's stuff that we learned over time through trial and error.
Yeah, that's great. She's awesome, isn't she? Man, she's awesome, I tell you. Fun fact, baby, on the, a fun fact. Why don't you tell them about your 33rd birthday? Shall I see the romantic?
See how they do?
It's the romantic, it's the romantic part.
So for my 33rd birthday, which was the night before he proposed to me, we had gone to Lookout Mountain, and then we had gone to the caves.
Rock City.
Yeah, in Rock City. So it was like he was taking me to the top and then all the way to the bottom, right? From the highs and the lows, would be there forever, right? I had no idea that he was going to propose.
Stay with me on this.
Had
Stay with me. It
none.
was all planned now. Baby, we go to high. We're going to be there together. We're going to be there together. Keep going.
And then we get in the car, we drive back to Nashville, and it's like, what, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night? I'm exhausted. I walk through the door, and all of my friends are there from all over the country. People here from Nashville that I had grown to know over the last 3 months, all my best friends from all over the country, and it was a surprise birthday party. And there was this mantle around the fireplace, and it had 33 gifts for every year of birth. He shopped for them all by himself.
And they were all gifts that had a meaning
Yeah,
about how I understood her.
yeah.
I was very intentional about everything I got her was about, this is how I see you. This is what I believe you are, what you need, etc. So how did I do?
You did wonderful.
Yeah. See, men need that, y'all, sometimes. I'm just kidding.
You smooth, Bishop.
Hey, man. Hey, man, let's spit that. Mentor some of you young men on that.
Listen, you put a lot of pressure on some of the guys. So, ladies, if y'all receive 33 gifts one day, you know where it came from. Just give Bishop an offering on the side one
No,
Sunday.
they're like, I don't want to wait till I'm 33, though. That's it. Go ahead, Jessica.
So some of us singles, we've been waiting for a long time for love to find us. And, you know, when you've been waiting for a long time and the years just, every year I say, this is going to be my year, and the years just pass on by. But, you know, fear starts to set in. You know, you start to wonder, will it ever happen for you? So what do you say to singles who have been waiting for a while? And how do we know whether or not God really has someone for us?
Well, we say it in our book. We say it on our channel that what you are looking for
Is looking for you.
And I believe that there is a certain timing that God is preparing you,
Yes.
preparing you, preparing you. Remember earlier the conversation was about timing. Had we met at the wrong time, it would never have happened.
And it would have ruined everything moving forward. as
Everything.
well.
And so I think you have to see yourself like in this incubation period.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. I know you're like, well, how long, God? You know, but you see yourself in that space and you realize that God is preparing you and molding you. God had prepared me for her. I know it now. And because of all that I was involved in, things I was doing, I had to be more centered on, you know, the values that we share together, family, etc. So it's just be patient. And patience is tough, but David says, I waited patiently. It's like this, you have to wait the right way without anxiety, trusting God, and believing that while you're waiting, God is moving, and let God move in the process. And ultimately, I think the first thing that in that waiting is God may be saying, I want to know how much do you love you? I need you to fall in love with you. Be okay. I had to get to a point that I was okay being at home by myself.
Yes.
Blessed quietness. And that was hard because I'm a social person. Because if you're not okay with that, then you just be taking dates. You'd be like, let's go out, let's go here. You're just all over the place. And then you're not settled, centered. And so when you fall in love with you, you know, then it gives you time to really focus and really reconnect with God. and be more centered and aligned. So it's like, can you really be okay watching movies by yourself? Can you be okay doing things by yourself? Can you be okay in this space? Because if you don't like you, how's the other person going to like you? So I had to come to that place, and I think that's a part of the waiting. And I think I would just say, just be patient in that process and know God's got you. He's never failed you. It's going to happen. This may not happen like it may be unorthodox how it happens. I always say it's going to happen when you least expect it. It's gonna be. I wasn't even expecting. I was gonna speak in this conference, get up and get on the plane next morning. I wasn't expecting that. Was not. You just never know how it's gonna happen. Yeah.
So good. So we recognize, oftentimes that women, especially women of color, deal with a lot and endure a lot, right? And I've heard it said, so many times that men don't have to deal with as much as women do, and we don't endure as much. So Bishop, can you share and just give perspective to the weight that men actually carry, but hardly ever show, and how important it is to have someone to support you through that?
That's good.
He's carrying so many burdens at the same time. He's carrying the pressure of trying to carve out his own identity from the very dysfunctional models of manhood he has seen in his entire life. If he is a Christian man, he is hearing the word of God and saying, okay, God, I know I'm to be different. I don't really know. I have a model of what that looks like in my family. I never saw my dad, romanticize my mom. I never saw the men in my family celebrate marriage. Men get on planes and don't talk about their family, talk about what they do. And so he's carrying that. He's also carrying the weight of what it means to be successful in the world and the blows he's taking, trying to believe in his vision and being constantly, tormented by the devil and told he's not good enough and having to fight and scrap, trying to make a livelihood for himself. He's dealing with that. He's also dealing with having to constantly pay the interest on the debt other men ran up in your emotions. And so as a consequence, it wasn't him, but it was them. But he's always viewed in a suspicious manner. He's not given a fair chance to show you that he's different. So he's carrying all these things. And so this is why he's riding around in his car a lot. This is why he's sometimes if he's not grounded, he's defaulting into this dysfunctional behavior because he's trying to look for affirmation. He needs to feel affirmed. No matter who he is, no matter what he does, he needs to feel affirmed. See, let me tell you a secret, and I'm going to be very transparent to you about men, because I've been a man all my life. and that's a fact. But this is real. Men need words of affirmation. Yeah? See, let me tell you something. Y'all with me? Because some of y'all, it's your first time ever hearing me in this setting, so don't be shocked, because I'm very transparent. I'm about to lay it out. I'm about to lay it out as clear as I can lay it out to you. A man needs words of affirmation so bad because he's being taunted by society, taunted by so many things, taught down to. That no matter what setting he's in, he needs to feel this way. That's why even in sometimes in acts of intimacy, in the most when vulnerable spaces of his life, in your vulnerable space of intimacy, you know what he wants to hear? Tell me I'm the best. I'm the man. Yeah. Now, I want you to let this register. And that's, my wife tell you, I'm a nerd. I study this stuff. Everything I do, I think I study from a psychosocial, theological perspective. So you look at the Lion King, and you look at the hyenas. What happens when the female hyenas see Mufasa? They mock it. Woo! Mufasa. Woo, say it again. Well, It's females, hyenas, who recognize his key. That's boom. Mufasa needs to feel like he Mufasa. When he walk in the room, a man is out there boxing the ring, taking blows, on his job, taking blows. The bell rings, ding, he comes home to his corner. He wants his woman to give him a cold glass of water, put a towel around his neck, massage him and tell him, baby, keep your dukes up. Watch the left uppercut. But if he come home and got to fight you too, he gonna keep driving around the neighborhood. What time you come home? Just go and go to bed, I'll be home later. Because he can't fight out there and fight you at home. So you wanna know, like, what gets him? People say, feed him. Just pay attention. My wife said to me something recently, and it almost brought tears to my eyes. She said, we need you. I said, whoa. What? You have to understand, me looking at my wife and my two kids, and they're saying, we appreciate you being here, Dad. We appreciate you being here, husband. You could be anywhere preaching, doing whatever. We need you. I'm like, man. Because at that moment, this is what you've done. Can I tell you what you've done? This is how you feed him. So when you feed him words of affirmation, he's full. So he gets in his car, metaphorically, and he drives around. And there's McDonald's, and there's Crystals, and there's Popeyes. But he not hungry. He don't want no fast food. He don't want no snacks. Because he know he got a full meal. Take it or leave it.
That's really good. I think that's awesome. I just learned a whole lot right there. So, one of the challenges with dating today, though, is our personal insecurities and the expectations of gender roles. For example, if a woman is making a little bit more money, or if she may have a little education, sometimes men don't view that as a attractive thing. They run from that. But how can a woman create a safe space that makes a man feel comfortable being vulnerable, expressing his insecurities, or just simply being who he is?
I'll go first and you can piggyback off of what I'm going to say, because you already know what I'm going to say. So I think I experienced that when I was single. And I used to go places, and when people would ask what I would do, instead of saying I'm a physician, I'd be like, well, I work in the hospital. And they would assume that that would mean like a secretarial job or what have you, and I would let them think that, because I realized that for some people, that's what they needed, right? But what I grew to realize is that no matter those individuals who needed that continued to need that kind of affirmation, needing to have me feel less than I am, which meant that they were not a good match for me. Because that would mean that for the rest of my life, I needed to be less than I am, right? And so what I realized I needed to look for was somebody who was equally yoked. And they are out there, ladies. When you start to listen to these statistics, only 1 in 10,000, you need one. You don't need 10, 20, 30, 50, 10,000. You need one, right? So don't listen to that garbage. It's garbage. What you are looking for is looking for you. That same gentleman that you're looking for, who is looking for the attributes that you have, because they're having the same problems. They're looking for somebody who's got their stuff together, who has dreams, goals, and aspirations, as opposed to whatever you like, whatever you like. No. What do I want? I'll tell you what I want. What do I want to go in life? I'll tell you what I want to go in life. What dreams and goals do I have? I'll tell you what dreams and goals I have. Do you want to ride with me? Are we going in the same direction, right? It's not about being assertive. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being authentic. It's about being honest. And it's about being true to who God made you to be, right? Because when he's bringing two people together, he wants you to bring your whole self, all the amazing gifts that he has put inside of you. And if you can't bring your whole self to the table, then that's the wrong person. And that's a litmus test, and that's okay. Because the moment that somebody's looking at you sideways because you're making more money, one, it doesn't even make sense because anything that's coming into the house is coming in the house for both of us, so you're going to benefit. So that's just, it doesn't even make sense, right? But I just think that it's a perspective that we've all have had to fight on the inside. And I think it also comes from feeling like there's scarcity, right? Well, if I run him away, there might not be another one coming for another 10 years or so. No, the devil is a liar. Because just like God is pulling you to the side to work on you, God could also be pulling him to the side to work on him, so that when you guys do meet or are able to come together, he's just as ready for that next move in life as you are. So don't settle. Don't make yourself feel like less than. It's okay if they're intimidated. It just means that they're not the right person for you, period.
That is so amazing. Well, we are going to close, but before we do, Bishop, Dr. Steph, first of all, thank you so much again for being here. We appreciate you guys so much. We really do. As we close, do you guys have any last advice for the singles?
All right. So I want all of y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to our channel. So make sure you subscribe, Our Life, Our Journey, Our Truth, because a lot of the questions you have, we answer. If you have never seen it, go and you can just take a day and just watch it. It'll a lot of stuff on there that'll really be a blessing to you. I would say, number one, though, stay connected to a community like this. Singles Ministry is here to provide resources for you and to create community. It's not always about dating. Do a lot of things. And I think it's important that you stay connected and don't try to do life in silo, all right, and solo. That's number one. Number two is work on you. This is a time in which see yourself like I'm in the subway, and I'm thanking God He let me work out all this stuff in the subway before I emerge. Take advantage of all the developmental things you can do with yourself spiritually and academically and professionally. Go get it, and don't apologize for that. Do all you can do when you can, and then also travel, enjoy life, live. Trust me, live, enjoy life, and do those things that you want to do and have fun, and that's important, right? And number three is do not underestimate the power of prayer and being very specific in your prayers about what you want. God can handle it. God can handle it. So be very specific at all stages of your life. Lord, now look, I'm tired. To Lord, is this the one? Lord, He'll speak to you. And you got to trust that. He will definitely confirm it. And it's often confirmed through peace. And I would trust all of that. And just don't, just make sure you do all those things. You won't be out here reckless. You won't be out here thirsty. You'll be in a place where I believe you'll be positioned for the greatest to happen in your life.
Has this been good to all of y'all? Have y'all enjoyed tonight? Awesome. Well, Bishop, if you don't mind, would you please just pray for the singles?
I would love to pray for you all. I really would. And thank you all so much for having us. And we enjoyed it so much. And we hope that you guys will, let me just share this too. You guys can come to the conference, Becoming a Couple of Destiny, because why would I invite you there? Because it's like, you're getting all the stuff in advance. You can get all the tools before you even get married. Say, I've learned, we had a lot of singles that last year, so I want to encourage you perhaps to register to be a part for that. And so thank y'all in advance for doing that, all right? But I want to pray for y'all. All right, let's pray. Father, thank you for this wonderful gathering of extraordinary individuals with great purpose and destiny on them. And thank you for just you being in our midst tonight to speak to us, to help us understand that you are yet working and that you have everything in control. I pray, oh God, that you are aligning our hearts with you, helping us to see our greater purpose in this life, and that our chief relationship and alignment is your will for our lives. That if we seek first the kingdom of God and your righteousness, all these things will be added unto us. I pray, God, you give us greater clarity for our call, give us greater discernment in our relationship. And God, I pray that you give us greater patience to trust you in the process. Let your will be done in our life. And any way it shows up, we're going to give you glory and we're going to give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, listen, we're going to allow Bishop and Dr. Steph to get out of here. You know, they have their kids to tend to and nighttime and all that good stuff. But we do have a few announcements for the single, so if you guys will remain for 2 seconds, and then we'll let y'all go.
Yahweh, only wanna pray to, only wanna love to, only wanna sees me, yeah. Yahweh.
Well, wasn't that good, you all? I know that I learned some really, really good knowledge tonight. So, as Bishop mentioned, get connected with the singles ministry. We want you to get involved with us. You have community through your singles ministry. So, what you're going to see here on the screen is a QR code that you can scan to hear more about how you can get involved with the singles ministry. We meet on the last Thursday of every month virtually in a Zoom where we kind of mix and mingle and talk about different subjects. The next one, we're going to have our very own Andrew leading up. And guess what? It's next week. It's next Thursday. Andrew, you want to tell us about what you're going to be talking about?
Absolutely. So we're going to be talking about managing expectations. We need some management in our lives.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So once again, we want you all to get involved with that. So the QR code should be coming up soon, but if not, all you have to do is go to Mt.Zion.Nashville.org and look for the singles ministry under groups, and you can get connected with our ministry and receive all of our emails and all of those things about our events that we have coming up. For example, he is trying to get everybody out, mixing and mingling. Can you tell us about that, Andrew?
I mean, it's a singles, right? So don't y'all want to meet people and interact? Oh, yeah, I don't sound too confident about that. So yes, we are going to have some more in-person events. I know a lot of people have been giving us that feedback, wanting more interaction and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that.
Yes. Well, once again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's great to see all of the singles in the house. I am happy that you came out to support on this Wednesday night, but I look forward to seeing you next week on the Virtual Village. Who's going to be on the Virtual Village next week? Come on. It's only an hour. We need you to contribute to that conversation. It is real talk. We talk about everything. So next week, we're going to be talking about our expectations. So, Andrew, I'll let you close us out.
That's it. Y'all can go. No, I was playing. But no, again, thank you guys so much for coming. And Lord, we just thank you for this time. We thank you for every single person in this room. God, I just pray that you give everyone traveling grace as they come and as they go. And I just thank you for everybody's destiny in here. I thank you that you have intrinsically plan things for each and every person in this room. You are intentional about that. You are a great father. And so for those who might feel discouraged, those who might feel like, I'm not where I want to be, God, I thank you that in this moment, in this season, you are encouraging everyone, you are lifting them up, and you are reestablishing your plans for each and everybody's life. So God, we thank you, we honor you, and we glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So y'all,